All right, we are officially recording. I am Peg Wilson, Star Director of Team Embrace, and it is Training Tuesday with the Sunflowers. Tonight, our topic is going to be Spring Incentive, and we have Sarah Thomas, our Superstar Director. Take it away, Sarah. It's all you.
Okay, well, welcome everyone. I'm glad to have all of you here. I'm glad that you are spending our Tuesday night with us. And if you're watching the recording, that is okay as well. Good thing is that these now get recorded. So thank you, Peg, for being in charge of all of that. How many of you, and I think there's more people than what I can see on the screen, and that's okay. But raise your hand, how many of you have earned an incentive before? Any of the incentives? Okay, so about half that are on. How many of you want to earn an incentive? Everyone, right? That's why we're on here tonight, probably. So here's what I love about typically, and things get changed, so you never know, but typically we have 2 incentives a year. We normally have a spring and summer incentive that starts around this time, and then we typically have a fall and winter incentive that will normally start between July and August. Pretty much pairs up with each catalog season. The cool thing about it is that these incentives are designed to help you grow your business. They normally last from 4 to 6 months. So they are designed to help you grow your business. They are designed to help keep us motivated. How many of you, if you work outside of your house, or even if you work in the home, or after a while you get bored? Like, that is me. Even though I love this business, I've been doing it almost 11 years now, which is crazy. But the thing is, just kind of like in your job, if you are working outside the house, or if you're working from home, whatever it is, normally, unless you're like getting a different position, sometimes it's doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over, correct? And that's the same thing that this is with our business, is that you're literally going to do the same things. The same thing that gets you success on day one is going to be the same thing that you're doing it 11 years from now. It just may look a little bit different, but the concept is the same. So for me, these incentives are a huge carrot that is dangled, because I'm a little bit competitive. And so when I know that there's something that I can earn, I'm like, oh, I want that. I want to be able to earn that. And so incentives are designed the requirements are put in place because the things that you have to do to earn the incentive are going to be the things that we have to do in our business to not only earn you an incentive, but even most importantly, it's going to help you to grow a long-lasting, sustainable business, the way that Orville and Heidi have designed our businesses to be able to be built. And that is not it wasn't designed to come in here, get rich quick, and then, just sit on our butts. It was designed that we could build a business that could last long-term, over 30, 50 years, if you choose, that we can pass down to our children and grandchildren in years to come. And so that's what I love about it. And that's why these incentives are put in place. It's kind of like that, they know when the time is right, when it's time to put an incentive. And I love that they normally match it up with the new catalog cycle, because that's when our customers are excited, right? They're ready to switch over. And so a lot of times these incentives are going to help us change our behaviors, because again, what happens towards the end of the year? I mean, how many of you kind of going into January, I know for myself, January's are kind of like, oh my gosh, we've been running. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, and it's like, okay, we kind of take that little dip, we kind of get our, catch our breath and do all the things. And sometimes resting feels so good, for me anyways, that like I kind of dread having to get back up, but we have to get back up. And so that's why they design these incentives when they design them. What I love about the fall or the spring and summer incentive is that it's simple. Very, very simple. They've done a great job over the last couple of years of designing it to where it's simple. I feel like it's basic. The fall winter one is a little bit more of a challenge, but I think that the spring and summer one is pretty basic. Choose your level. This is what you have to do. Boom. The great thing is If you do the activities that can earn you a spring and summer incentive, you're going to be trained up to then be able to earn a fall and winter incentive. And always remember that what you are doing right now, it doesn't always show up tomorrow, but those things are going to show up in 3 to 6 months from now. So does that make sense to everyone? Does anyone have any questions? So this is a pretty simple incentive. I don't want to have to go off screen, so I'm going to actually pull up the requirements from my phone. I'm a paper person, so there's a couple things that I think are really important. You have to have this incentive and the requirements in your face. You have to be looking at them. If you're a paper person still, like me, print it out, post it where you can see it. If not, it is on your phone. Make sure that you're looking at it every single day. There's actually, I don't know why my printer's being really weird, but there is a very colorful, on the tracker, there's a real colorful printable thing that you can print out. I'm hoping that mine will print by the time we get to it. So if you have printed it, grab your printed piece of paper. If you have not, and you have access to your phone, laptop, whatever you're on, if you want to look at the how to earn it, it's super simple. They've done a great job of getting us these trackers right at our fingertips. So if you, or as you're talking to your teams, if you go into your workstation, and kudos to Scentsy and IT for having this up. Oh, let me back up. The incentive started on March 1 and it goes from June 30th. But if you go into your workstation and you click on incentive, and if you guys want to do this with me, feel free. If you just want to take notes and then do it, you can. It's going to give you, there's an overview, and then you can click track your progress. And this is literally going to tell you what level you're at in the incentive. It's going to tell you how close as you're getting to level 1, 2, and 3. And then it's also, when you scroll down, it's going to tell you what you need to get to the next one. And then you can even scroll down a little bit further and it's going to give you details. And then there's an how to earn. This is going to walk you through, and we're going to go through these, but it's going to walk you through how to earn each level. And then there's an FAQ. So very simple, everything. If you are more on the tech side, you can do everything on your phone and see all the things. So what do we have to do to earn this incentive? Does anyone have any questions just yet? No. Okay, good. So for level 1, now as I go through these,
Sarah,
yeah.
Anne Marie had a question.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry to bother you.
Oh, God.
I just have a question. Like when I'm on that page where it says track your progress, and I'm completely new, so I don't even know all the wording and everything. But what does frontline points mean?
Okay, great question. So your frontline is anyone that you personally sponsor under you. So as you start having people come under you, you will be able to see their points. And so it's fun to be able to track and see where they are in incentives. I know that there's probably a couple of you that are on here that when you first joined, and there were times where I was tracking their points and looking at them like they're brand new. So, when you're brand new, you're just doing the things you don't know. And I would literally message them like, hello, did you know you're on track to earn this incentive? And sometimes many did not even know that they were on track to do it. So that's a great question, but it's just a way for you to see your frontline points. I wish we could see everyone's points, but I get that that would be a lot. Sometimes I have to, as your frontline get their frontline, sometimes it's having conversations with them like, hey, watch that, because sometimes that does happen, especially in an incentive like this. I'm not saying fall and winter is definitely doable, but this is just simple. It's like, this is what you do, this is how you do it. So a lot of people earn this incentive. So, but that's a great question. So we can actually, does anyone else have any questions on that page? Okay, so. Okay, so how do we earn this incentive? So these are pretty simple qualifications. level 1, the reward is going to be fall and winter 2021 new season sales kit. So if you're brand new each season, so twice a year, we get a new catalog, we get new testers, we get new products, right? And so typically we have to invest in those so that we can then show them to our customers in the next season. So earn an incentive, you don't have to do that. You can just get it here. You will get an exclusive warmer design for the incentive. So only if you earn the incentive will you get that warmer. Then you're going to get 500 points towards the next fall and winter incentive trip, which is huge because you get to, on level 1, start out with the minimum 500 points. Awesome. Okay. What do we have to do to earn that? You have to sell 1,000 in PRV. So 1,000 worth of products. And then you have to sponsor 1 new consultant between March 1, June 30th, and you have to get them certified, which means they have to automatically sign up. They have to sign under you, and then you're going to help them earn their first $1,000 in PRV, personal retail volume. Does that make sense? So you have 4 months to do that. So basically it's like, go find 1 friend, go find 1 host, go find 1 person that, you know, is your going through social media, or, you know, you're making a list and you're thinking of people like who could benefit from this. Make that list and just offer it up to them. Now, the cool thing is that anyone who comes on board, especially if you sponsor early on, they can also earn this incentive. So the sooner you get your people on, the sooner they are going to be able to earn the incentive as well. And that's why I say a lot of what you do now is going to show up in 3 to 6 months from now. Okay, so now we're going to move on to level 2. Level 2, again, these are just things that, you know, so this is going to be like level 1's kind of, you know, maybe you're just doing it, maybe the hobby person, which is what I love, is that even though you may be just doing this as a hobby, you can still earn the incentive. Level 2, we're just going to challenge you a little bit more. And this is going to be to sell 2,500, and you're going to sponsor 2 new people who get certified. Those rewards are going to be the sales kit, the warmer, 1,500 points towards the fall and winter incentive, or you can get a $300 Scentsy shopping spree through. You'll be able to use that for products, or you can use that for like anything in the store. Any questions so far? Then the next one, level 3, is going to be sell 3,500. Kelly, did you have a question? Okay. Sell 3,500 and sponsor 3 new consultants. That you're going to get sales kit, the warmer, an exclusive 2-piece luggage set. Some of you on this call, Peg, do you have it? And it's freaking awesome. Or a pair of custom Scentsy Converse sneakers. Plus,
Sarah,
yes.
I'm actually pulling up and I'll share pictures of what the new season sales kit and what the luggage and all, and the exclusive warmer were with the Grow with the Flow, so everybody can see them. I'm working on pulling them up for you.
Okay, cool. Level 3 gets you 3,000 points towards the incentive trip, which is huge. I mean, I know people that have literally missed the trip by 100 points. A $300 credit. So you basically get all of the above, all of level 1, all of level 2, or you get $1,000 product credit. So essentially, sometimes people say to me, well, why can't they ever have cash prizes? And I used to question the same thing, because for me, I'm like, oh, give me the cash. So we do have to follow federal trade guidelines. That's the biggest reason why we can't just say, oh, earn $1,000. However, if you really put the value on this stuff, you can potentially earn cash, because it's money that it's your money that you're getting to save having to buy supplies, because if you're going to work your business, you have to buy these supplies. or you get to do the shopping spree. So, I mean, essentially it is money, it's just going somewhere else. And that's not because for any other reason except for Scentsy has to follow those guidelines. If you are one of the top 50 in points, you're going to, okay, so top 50 level 3 earners. So in your level 3, you're the top 50 with the highest PRV of certified recruits. So anyone that get, how are they going to determine if you're in the top 50? So they determine the top 50 by you hit level 3 based on the people who you bring under you that get certified, the most points that they have. And it looks like plus the highest group wholesale of like their entire people that they bring in, you're going to get the all expense paid trip to leadership, which we don't know where that is yet. Or you get your choice of level 3 rewards. Basically top 50 sounds kind of confusing. In my short verbiage of it, I'm just going to say sponsor and certify the most people that you can. If you want top 50. As it gets closer, they normally have a tracker up for that. So you kind of know where you are. Sometimes they have a tracker. So you kind of know if you're within that top 50, but not always. So I don't want to guarantee that because for that one, they don't always have that. So that's how you earn it. Does anyone have any questions yet? This one's pretty simple. So like, what do you have to do? How can you earn it? Well, it's already started. It started on March 1. Go to your calendar, in your phone calendar, whatever you use, mark down incentive deadline so that you know that that's there. I mean, this is a business, so now we're going to plan for it. Choose, what do you want? What, and I don't want you to choose based on, oh gosh, I don't know how to do this. I want you to choose on based on those rewards or the level. What do you want to do? And then we're going to help you. If you go for level 3, I'm a numbers person. So like if you go for level 3, we have March, April, May. Okay, 4 months. So 3,500 divided by 4 months. That's $875 in PRV. That's around, I mean, this is having minimal parties. We're talking 4 to 6 PRV party activities a month. And guess what? They say 1 out of 4 hosts join. I think more than 1 out of 4 with Scentsy join because now we have the flip-a-kit. So just know if you want on average level 3, you have to get 3 people. Now we also have to get them certified. But to me personally, I think the hardest part is getting them on board. We can help coach them to certify. If you're brand new and you're thinking, oh my gosh, like I don't even know what I'm doing. How am I going to train someone else? You get them on board. We're going to help you to get them where they need to be. And honestly, I think sometimes it's easier to learn with your new peers anyways. So if you're wanting 3, if 1 in 4 join and you want 3 consultants during the period, you need what? 12 parties, not even 12 parties. Because you have 4 months. So I think this is a simple, it's almost so simple that I'm like, I think I've only talked for 5 minutes and besides answering your guys' questions, it's really that simple. You know, my biggest thing is you have to have a goal. So you have to pick what level you want. You have to have a goal. You have to write it down and then you break it down. If you're not maybe a numbers person yourself, get with your sponsor, break it down. You want to be tracking it. I love, Patty is great about breaking her stuff down weekly, daily, because you always want to be going back to that so that if, you know, if the end of the week, you're not meeting your daily goal or your weekly goal, then guess what? Next week, you know what you need to make it up. If you just want to do it monthly, you can, but you want to be breaking it down because if you break it down and you're going for level 3 and at the end of this month, you're only at 500 PRV, that's okay. It doesn't mean that you're not going to still earn the incentive, but then you just know coming into the next month, you're going to have $375 PRV to make up. If you don't recruit for 2 months, that's okay. but you just know that for the next 2 months, you're going to have to heavily sponsor. So it's very, very important that you are writing this down, that you have a goal and that you're tracking it. And the other thing is, this is my biggest advice to you, is that I want you at least by the end of the week to figure out what level you want to earn, because once you choose that, like, there's no giving up. Because I have seriously seen people earn an incentive in the last 2 weeks. I'm not saying wait till 2 weeks to work your business. All I'm saying is, if you have a bad March, you have a bad April, you have a bad May, it's okay. You have June. No one is telling you how you have to do it in the next 4 months. How you do it in the next 4 months is going to be up to you. Okay, so here are some of the incentives from the last, or some of, what we earned from the last incentive. So we got the warmer. That was the Grow with the Flow warmer. Now this is the last incentive. It was called Grow with the Flow. What's this? Keep on growing or something? Keep on going, keep on growing. Here's our sales kit. So, I mean, you know, very popular warmers and bars, and then that luggage, which I want that luggage.
I will get that luggage.
I can't decide if I want the luggage or the sneakers, and I'm not even really a sneakers person, but those things are freaking cute.
Well, how about I get the luggage and you get the sneakers, and I'll give you one and you give me one.
Okay, and then we could just get a solid color of the other.
Yeah.
Have you seen pictures of the sneakers yet?
No.
No.
Have you?
No, I was just asking. I thought. I'm like, yeah, Chucks.
But I don't know if we wear the same shoe size. So just find.
Sarah,
I
have
don't
you
care.
seen you know, there's some kind of a meme that goes around with a quote by Mel Robbins that has a pair of red Chucks and it says Scentsy on it.
Cute.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's something like that.
Cute.
I
I
think
want the luggage
that
though.
would be free advertisement everywhere you go rocking them.
Right?
Well, of course, Mel has to support us because, you know, we're her biggest fans.
I love Mel Robbins, by the way. She's been a speaker at a couple of our events. If you're not following her, follow her. That's just
We've
a
seen
side-
her several times.
I don't know, guys. It's really that simple. PRV, bring some buddies in. How does everyone feel about? I mean, some people, you know, you feel good about your sales, but not so much on the sponsoring, vice versa. Like, do you guys have questions? Do you feel like maybe in the last incentive? I'm telling you, if you can earn this incentive, it's going to help boost you to earn the next incentive. And those of you that are new, normally the fall and winter incentives are on a much larger scale. But guess what? It's the same thing. You just have to do it over and over. If you can learn how to balance your PRV, and then you can learn how to sponsor, and you can do them at the same time, that is what is going to build you a successful business over and over and over and over and over. That's all we've had to be doing for the last 11 years. It's the same thing. There's just different ways of doing it. But there's no different method. You know, sometimes I have people that have been in for a long time and they're like, oh, you know, this is where I want to be and I'm not because of this. Share it and sponsor. That's really all it comes down to. Does anyone have any questions? Is there things like where you struggle? Flip your parties. I love that this PRV is not crazy high during the incentive. And I love that it's broken out over 4 months. It's not telling you, hey, you have to sell 1,000 every month and sponsor people. It's just saying between this month and this month. So like, if you are one that maybe you struggle with balancing a level, you know, maybe you feel like 1 month you have high PRV and you don't recruit anyone. And then the next month you have big recruits, but you don't have a good PRV, probably because you're flipping parties. If you don't have crazy high PRV, that's okay, because you're probably flipping parties. But I love that this one, if you're that person, figure your plan out to be like, okay, on this month, I'm going to really, really heavily try to get all my people that have been sitting on the fence, everyone that I could think about. I'm going to try to get them on board, and then I can be coaching them, and then I can focus on my sales. Some people are opposite. Some people, they've got the sales part down, but it's the sponsoring is where they struggle. Everyone is different. You just have to know what works for you. There is no right or wrong way to get there. It's just getting there. But don't look at this and say, oh, I can't do that. Yes, you can. This is an incentive that yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And I'm telling you, what you do in this incentive is going to show up in your business 3 to 6 months from now. Any questions?
I
Alice?
need, oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I need all the help I can get with recruiting. I have no problems with sales. I have no problems with training, but my approach to recruiting is horrible. And I don't know what I'm doing that is not.
For me personally, because I feel opposite. For me, if they come to me and say, especially with Flip a Kit. So if you're new and you don't know what Flip a Kit is, or Earn a Kit, or people have different verbiage. So anytime we go to put in an order or a party or something on the workstation, as soon as it hits 200 PRV, the system says, oh, there's a host involved. It could be an outside host. It could be you just gathering orders. But at that point, we have the opportunity to share with someone a kit. Think of it as another product kit almost. So you can say to somebody, hey, I have the availability to get you this kit they can either pay the $59 or you can do the host rewards and all that. If they're not the host, I normally have it depends. Every situation is different. You'll learn as you go. You'll figure out what works for you. If they are not the host, so let's say that Patty's hosting my party and her party's at 300. I'm going to be like, hey, Patty, here's the deal. We can either keep it the way it is. You can be the host and you're going to get $30 in free stuff and you're going to get these half price items. Or, and I say it just like this, I'm not trying to throw any pressure on you, but I offer this to every one of my hostesses. We can actually flip this party. I don't know if you've ever thought about it, but to get your own perks in the future, we can actually flip this party under you. And you can actually get a kit using your rewards, or you can keep your rewards and get a kit for $59. And then going forward, you can sell to your friends, family, and all these people. No pressure. It's up to you. Boom. That's it. That's if she's my host. And then she can decide, well, I don't know. Some are going to say yes. Some are going to say no. When I don't have a host and it's just my random, people putting in an order and I get to 200, that's when I'm thinking, who's been sitting on my fence? Everyone should always have a running list of potential team members. Who is sitting on my list? And every time that opportunity pops up, I'm sending them a message. Hey, not sure like where you're at right now, if you're still thinking about it, but I have an opportunity to get you a kit for $59, but you have 24 hours to claim it. This is why I tell them they have 24 hours to claim it. One, now we're getting off incentive topic, but it's going to kind of help with it. One, when you go to put in their email for the kit, they only have 24 hours to get their information in for you to close that party, or it all starts over again. If I have a party that's ready to close, I do not want to wait 5 days for someone to decide if they want a kit or not to be able to close my party. When I'm ready to close the party, I want to close the party. So it gives them that 24 hours. Now, what happens if they take a little bit longer? Because I've had people that, they get stuck up on the name. Like that's the biggest thing. They get caught up on what their website name is going to be. What really happens, it expires and we just have to redo it. And that's okay. I just don't want to hold my party open for a long time. So anytime you have a host, so Patty, if you're my host, I'm going to say that verbiage to you. If I don't have a host, but I hit that 200 mark and I have one available, then I'm going to be reaching out to people. Who's ever wanted to get started? I'm going to be asking them and telling them that, hey, I have this available for them. Depending on their situation, I mean, this is my tough love motto. My tough love motto is if you want something bad enough, especially women, I don't want to hurt any feelings, but when we want something, we get it. Okay. I don't care if you have to sell something on swap and shop, whatever. When we want something bad enough, we get it. And normally it's way more than $59. What, Kelly?
Well, I was just nothing.
No, say it.
No, because we're recording.
Okay. That's not to upset anyone. But normally what we want is more than $59, and we're going to find one way to get it. So my tough love is sometimes if we just give kits away, people don't take it as serious because they've invested nothing. But there are some situations where people literally don't have the $59 to invest in it. And the $59 could definitely get them, or not the $59, but them joining. You just have to play that by ear. And the more you do it, the more you're going to, I mean, I've done kits for where we used all the host credit and they didn't have to pay anything and they've been great. I've done it to where they didn't pay anything and they haven't done well. It's up to you. For me, if this business blesses their lives by getting an extra $50 in their pocket and they are able to buy whatever groceries they want or get a new pair of shoes or get their nails done or whatever, their success and what they do with the kit is up to them. If they do nothing with it, it's up to them. I know that I offered it to them, right? So now that's if we get to 200. So that's using the earn a kit. So I feel like that helps in sponsoring a lot. Because we used to not have that. When I joined, you were paying $99, period. When we talk about getting what we want, I am a very responsible person and I've been very responsible with money. However, and I'm a tightwad. 10 years ago when we were desperately broke, I looked at my bills and said, okay, which one can I not pay without getting a late charge late? And I didn't pay it to buy my $99 kit. But I made sure before that 30 days was up, I was able to pay that bill. Not saying that's the most responsible thing. I'm not saying do that, but I'm just saying people will work for and get what they want if we want it bad enough. And I wanted it bad enough. So that's that. Now, if someone is buying the product from you, they're your potential team member. Because why in the heck would we not share with people how they can get their products free and half price? I was talking, I don't know if this was on like our leadership call or maybe it was last week. So I look at it as a membership. So I look at our $99, we'll use the $99 kit. So say someone comes to me and every couple months they are buying their 3-pack or they're buying, it doesn't have to be that they're a big spender, but they consistently spend. So I have a Sam's and Costco membership, right? It's a club. You have to have a card in order to go into their store. So that's how I kind of think of Scentsy. You have to pay this entry, which is our $99, to get into the club. Well, once you're a consultant and you're into the club, then you kind of get behind the scenes insight. We get to see things before everyone else does. We then get the opportunity to shop internally. So, we get the workstation. And so as you're shopping, you are also working up, or, that's when you're adding your rewards. And occasionally, like you can bring your friends in. So that's where the hosts, like we offer to our hosts, like, hey, I can get you this. Like I have friends who don't have memberships, but I still take them shopping with me because I have it. And now I'm going to offer the opportunity for them to be able to shop. And then at the end of the year or their cycle period, they're going to send me back a kickback of however much based on what I spent. So it's kind of like you buy your $99 membership, you get to shop internally, you get to see the newest things, you get to be a part of it, you get to go to events, you get to do all the things. You can then share it. You can share the shopping experience with your friends who they don't have to invest in anything if they don't want to. They can just come along with you. They can shop and you're going to get the credit for that. And then you're going to get the kickback every single month for your shopping. Does that make sense? Because some people get so caught up in like, oh, I'm joining something or, oh, I'm doing this. No, if you are buying this product consistently, why are you not going to just get a kit so you can buy from yourself and then you can share to your friends and family. And then you don't have to wait on me to order a freaking 3-pack of light bulbs. You can just have access to that yourself. So I honestly offer it to everyone. If they're buying, I offer it. If they are hosting, I offer it. When I am scrolling through or I am listening to stories of people, I always have my radar on. Especially this time, there's a lot of people right now that are struggling financially. when I joined Scentsy, we were basically, I guess, on the end of whatever the financial mess was in 2010. So people were still looking for extra things to do without having to, be away from the house an extra 20 or 30 hours a week. And there was a survey that said if they earned an extra 250, this is when everybody was like losing their houses and losing everything. If they earned an extra $250 a month, it would completely change their life. Hello, guys, we can do that. We can help people earn that. Some people only need 50 to 100. And we can do that with a little investment. It's a product that people are already using. And what I love most about it is that they are not going to have to take 20 to 30 hours a week, leaving the house, driving, doing all the things. College students, it's another great one. These millennials, or now I don't even think they're millennials now. I don't know what they are. But kiddos going into college, either you have the two types. You have the types that don't work at all, that, they're not working at all and they're completely broke. Or you have those that are freaking, dying and half flunking their classes because they are having to do both. This is a great way for them to be able to bring in some income and be able to just focus on school. So there's lots of different, sorry, I'm not reading your chats. I probably should be. It looks like there's some good ones going on maybe, but yeah, retirees, that's a good one too. I'm reading their comments, but you guys can say something. I'll quit talking. So there's a lot, but those are the obvious ones. You just have to be always thinking about who can I offer this opportunity about to.
Plus,
Mine, go ahead.
what I kind of realized that people are getting their income tax money back now.
Yeah.
And the stimulus is coming. So there's an opportunity to, talk to people about, hey, it's $59 to flip this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm going to try to work on with my recruiting part of it. Because like several people that I've talked to are getting their income tax money a week or two. So I'm going to be like hitting everybody up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, offering the opportunity is everywhere. I know all of us on here are on different places and, there's people that are like, oh, that stupid S word saturated. I'm like, there's no such thing. I have the year of the Mediterranean cruise. I think there were 12 people in Scentsy, and this is just people that I knew. There were probably more within like a 3 or 4 mile radius. And we all earned the incentive. Well, there were like 9 of us, 9 out of the 12 within a 4 mile, because we all know different people. Everyone's working their business differently. Not everyone is working it the way that if you're on this call, you either are or you have the desire to work it. Not everyone's doing that. And people want to be taken care of. Customer service, especially right now, is more important than ever because we're not being able to connect in other ways that we were before. And, when we can get together and we can gather, it's a way for us to humanly make people feel good about each other. And because we don't have that right now, customer service, mailing the card, doing those little bitty things. And that's who people are going to do business with. So you just can't buy into the lies. And if you can hear my dogs barking right now, I'm so sorry. Patty, did that help? Did that help anyone else? Oh.
See, I have done that. Like I have gifted the kits, and right now, I mean, I have a really hard time with even parties on Facebook. I've said it a million times. Like, I really think that it's not so much the consultants are oversaturated, but the parties are oversaturated because you get invites to Scentsy, Pampered Chef, Tupperware, and people just are not responding. And unless you have a really good hostess doing it through social media, I think we need to find a different venue for that. Now, on the flip side, I do what you said. I open a, my own little thing every month, and I put orders in there until I have enough to earn the free kit. And then I offer it to people. But the only difference is I'm a little bit more selective than blessing everyone because I started with that. And the people that I have blessed with it, that I just was blessing everyone with, kind of are sitting at the bottom of my list with zeros for months and months and months. But then there's other people that I've kind of like, okay, I like this personality, or I see, you know what I mean? And I'm more selective with who I pick, and they're rock stars. Like they come on the team and they're kicking butt, you know what I mean? And like, but my problem is more the conversation. I can get the free kit. I'm having a really hard time giving it away. So I don't know I don't know if I'm wording it wrong, or maybe I'm not as, I don't want to say forceful, because you don't want to force someone to do it. You know what I mean? But I don't know where I'm not getting the attention I should when it's a free kit, you know, and it can change your life. And people see what I've accomplished. They know I'm going to Disney. They know, you know what I mean? So I'm kind of at a loss as to what I'm not getting to be able to attract more people, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. Most of the time it can be our words and just how we are using it. And that's going to come with practice. The other thing is, and this is, I know I've got to get to talking about this so that everyone doesn't think I'm crazy, but a couple things that I heard is, and this is your reality, is, you know, the parties are this and the parties are that, and, you know, you're having a hard time giving a kid away. So that's been what you feel like the reality's been for the last probably couple months. And so you keep saying that because that's what the reality has been, but you need to switch that mindset to where you're like, oh my God, everybody wants my free quits. Oh my gosh, suddenly everybody is wanting to have parties again. And you may, because the thing is that you may not, maybe you just say parties. Maybe it's not a specific, because, you know, when COVID first hit, it was like, holy cow, Facebook parties became a big blow up thing. Well, there was a few years ago, they were a big blow up thing too. And then they kind of took a break. So it'll probably come back around as well. I just think that in some areas or cases, people are sick of hearing it and seeing it. Now here, because it depends on where you are, here, I feel like they're still going. So maybe you just need to attract more parties. Who knows where they're going to come from? Maybe you're going to get a Facebook party with the Kansas girl, because the Kansas girls are still partying on Facebook, you know, or
I get exactly what you're saying. It's the underlining tone that I'm portraying the negativity, which is going to automatically,
yes,
got it.
yes.
I got it.
And it's not negativity and a negative, it's not a negative negativity. That's just the story that we're telling ourselves in our brain. And so that's what we get, you know?
But don't you think you portray that too? Like, even if you have
Yes.
that, right, you have that in your brain, then you're going to portray it.
Perception is
Even if
reality.
exactly, if I don't mean to do that, when I'm talking to someone, I'll be like, you want to have a party? Or I could be like, hey, let's have a Scentsy party. I got it.
Yes.
I got it.
Yep, absolutely. And no, and of course you don't mean it, but anytime, and this is with anything, as soon as it is something that you consciously have to be focusing on every single day, almost every single thought. I mean, no, once it becomes practice, like we don't have to be thinking how to walk. We don't have to think how to do this, how to do that. But because our brains have already been programmed to do it, but we did it one time when we were babies. We just don't remember it. What happened? What?
Melissa.
Oh,
Yeah.
yay. Love
Yes.
it. And so at one time we had to do that. Look how stumbly babies are. But eventually
it.
for practice. And so this is with anything in our life. It's like you just have to catch it. And once you become conscious, I mean, I think most of you know this, but I used to be I was voted biggest complainer in high school. I was negative Nelly. And then Dana Wild, who Melissa just showed her book to, came into my life, and she was my mentor, and she totally changed my thinking. However, I'm still human. Life still happens to me. And sometimes I still get into my own thing. And you guys, sometimes it goes on for months. Sometimes it goes on for years. And then I'll be like, duh, this is why this has been like this, because I've been saying it over and over and over. And it gets real crazy, you guys. I mean, it can be all the way down to like real weird stuff. Like not even just business. This is your personal life as well. So it's just being conscious of, if you just think about if we want to talk business, if you're thinking in your business, what part do you want different? Think about what have I been struggling? Because normally those thoughts come from a struggle, right? So you just have to flip it. It's the craziest thing, but you just have to flip it, and then you will be amazed at how all of a sudden Patty's probably going to be the partying and recruiting rock star. I mean,
That
charity.
was like a light bulb moment right there, because I know even when I'm approaching someone about a free kit, I'm kind of like, well, what do you think? I can give it to you. Like I'm not myself. I'm very meek. Because I'm expecting a no. You know what I mean? So light bulb.
Yep.
Thank you.
Write them,
So,
post them.
so I'm going to share a little something. This is from 2019. I don't know if you can see it. It's a goal card. And I learned this from Bob Proctor. And and it starts out with, I am grateful now that, and you put your goals as if you have them. And then you follow each goal with the words, thank you, thank you, thank you, 3 times. So I don't know if you might not be able to read it.
I love it. I'm writing it
Goals.
down.
So, and on the front, I don't know if you can see what it says. It says, fail forward. And there's things on here that I put that I didn't think I would have. And one of them was that I would be financially independent and buying my first home. We have been in our home for almost 1.5 years now.
Oh, I love it.
So I didn't know how it was going to happen. Had no clue. And it did. So when you're saying that, Sarah, you're absolutely right. He always says, pick only 3 things and read it in the morning and the afternoon. I still carry it in my purse. I just pulled it out of my purse. Because it reminds
That is
me.
absolutely awesome. That's awesome.
Okay,
So-
so who was that? Bob Proctor?
Bob Proctor. And
Okay.
it's always like he starts his car, he carries them himself, and it's, I am so happy and grateful now that and as if you have it already. He always says, imagine as if you have it.
Yep.
Because if you read that every morning and every night, you are going to start to visualize it. And when you visualize it, you can make things like shift. Like Will Smith talks about it all the time. That,
Yes.
Everything's so fluid, and we really do shift the world. So you could be on top with Scentsy 1 minute, and then the next minute you could be struggling. And it's because really you doubted yourself. Your speed bump was the doubt that you threw in there.
Absolutely.
Because Peg's saying you recruit 2 people a month. I would love to recruit 2 people a month. That's my goal. So if perception is reality. If you say that you're struggling, your reality is you're going to struggle.
Absolutely. Yep. Totally agree. And that's not just a saying. And the reason
Thank you, Kate. Thank you.
our brains are so powerful. The reason that happens is literally scientifically, our brains do not, it's in the book. I can't think of all the words, but I'm going to start. I've been wanting to do trainings on this all year long. So I need to just get there and do it. But our brains cannot decipher what is real and what is not real.
Mhm.
So whatever we're thinking, we're going to get.
Yep.
I think I've talked about The Secret before, and at first I thought this is a freaking weird thing, but when I watched it, I tried in The Secret, one of the things was about parking lots. And so I called my girlfriend, I'm like, I'm going to try this. And I never get front row parking lots.
Mhm.
Well, I always say that, obviously.
Mhm.
And I called my girlfriend one day, I'm like, okay, we are going shopping today, and I told her about The Secret. She's like, you're freaking crazy. And I'm like, no, I'm serious. I'm like, everything that's ever happened in my life, good and bad, I have totally attracted it. And she's like, Sarah, you're being real weird. I'm like, no, but I'm serious. So I said, we're going to go test it out today. I said, everywhere we go, we're getting front row parking. Everywhere we go, we're getting front row parking. You guys, we did. That was not a coincidence. So then that kind of opened my eyes. Then I would do it with this. Then I would do it with that. Then I started putting Post-it notes all over the house because things started happening. And then before you know it, and my husband used to, what are all these Post-it notes all over the house? You're crazy, because he wasn't doing it with me. Well, guess what? He started putting Post-it notes all over the house.
I have a check in my car from The Secret. Bob Proctor was from The Secret, just so you know, Sarah. That's where I found them.
Okay.
That's where I found them. That I've listened to The Secret this year alone. During the day when I'm working my full-time job, I just play it on Netflix. It's on Netflix for anyone who wants to watch it. But it's not a one-time thing. Every time you watch it, you'll pick up something new. And the other thing that I wanted to point out real quick, and I'll put my card away, on the back is the other line, and he says it in The Secret. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. So there's Lisa Nichols from The Secret. There's the gentleman who writes I always forget his name, Jack
Canfield.
Yep, Canfield. He's in it. The gentleman who was in an airplane crash and was told he would never breathe on his own. He walked out of the hospital because all he could do is lay there on a ventilator and envision walking out of the hospital.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I could tell you guys, as I start sharing this stuff, I can tell you story after story, and you never know where it's going to come from. The cool thing is, we all think that we have to work harder to get the things that we want, but we actually don't. I could tell you all right now, when people call me and they say, oh, I can't have a party, I can't get this and that. Normally, what would you think a normal person would say? Well, get on the phone and make more calls. No, I will tell you opposite. Don't ask anyone for a party. If you're struggling with something, do not do that. I will give you hope statements to say first, because it's all about your energy. And the higher you get on the energy level, I could tell you to call 1,000 people when you're down, which is the last thing you want to do. And guess what? You're going to get 1,000 no's. I can guarantee it. It's why I would never tell you to do it. You would work harder and get less results. I literally have gone to bed before thinking to myself, where's my next team member? 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 And literally the next morning I wake up and I have a new team member. That is not coincident. It's because that is what our brains do. Or where's my next team member? Da, 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 da. I'll be thinking about that. And then all of a sudden I go out somewhere. One time it happened to me. I had a little bitty logo Scentsy thing on my shirt. Didn't even realize I was wearing a Scentsy shirt. And I was at a store and the girl's like, oh my God, I love Scentsy. She says to me, I've been wanting to sign up under someone, but there's no one in my area. Well, here I am. So.
No, I have a question.
Yes.
Kate, did you say that The Secret is on Netflix?
It is.
Okay.
It's The Secret. It'll look like, I have the book downstairs. I'll go down before we're done so I can show you, but it's like, it almost looks like the old yellowish, like old paper with like a red seal with an S. Rhonda Burns. So Rhonda Burns is the person who wrote the book, which I've
Seems creepy at first. You just got to keep going.
Right. Here's the thing. I think Kelly will actually love it, even from the beginning, because she talks about losing her father. She has an Australian accent, but it just goes into, it's very easy flowing. But the book as well, I have actually bought that book for so many people. It is a book that is, I won't lend mine out because it's my Bible. The bottom line is if you have the book, you can open to any page and read just that one page, and it just hits home. You'll be like, oh my gosh, I needed that. And they even have, the other thing that they have that I recommend is the 365-day calendar, like the little flip open, which I don't throw mine out. I flip it, binder clip it, and then in the beginning of the year, I start all over, and I'm on my like third year. This thing is falling apart. But again.
Now, where'd you get that at?
Got them on Amazon, and it's not an expensive book. It's like The Secret is like Sarah, I love the fact that you brought up The Secret. That book is like, I say it saved my life.
Yeah.
And you have to be ready for it to work the way you need it to. You have to be open-minded. If you're going to be pessimistic, the law of attraction is you're going to get nothing from it. So if you go into this going, whatever, we'll see if this is anything, you're not going to get a damn thing from it, ladies. But if you go into it and go, you know what, I'm just going to learn. I think I'm going to really pick up one thing off of this. I promise you'll pick up 5.
Yep. For me, the first time Dana introduced it to me, I watched it and I'm like, this lady, well, she told me to watch it. And before I did, I'm like, this lady is nuts. Like, she's telling me to talk to myself and write down these things as if they've happened, blah, 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 blah. But the thing that kept me open-minded is that she was very successful in what she had done, and that's how she had done it. And I was desperate for a new way. So if you do not like how things are right now, or maybe you do love how things are, but you want more, go into it open-minded, because not everybody wants their life changed, but most people will not reject something additional.
I don't have panic attacks and I don't stress. You know, the pit of the stomach, everybody here probably at some point has had that pit in the stomach because you feel like you can't control something. Mm-hmm. Since embracing that book, whenever I even feel the inkling of it, I open the book and I've not had like that stone feeling in my stomach since. And I'm not just saying it. If you go into it open-minded, I promise you, you just look at life so differently.
Yeah.
That there's nothing that's going to stand in your way. Like anything I take on, I'm going to be successful in, because I'm going to do it with passion. Like, I was in the top 5 of my team this month. This is my first full month and I was top 5.
Awesome.
But I was rooting for the people ahead of me too. Like, I wasn't expecting to get to number 1, but I think, what was it, Peg? 16 people, I was top 5. I was impressed with that. I was happy with it. My team was killing it this month. So it's just, you know, but
I love
like,
it. It's so true. And that's the thing. And that's why I used to train on it all the time, and then I didn't. And I said going into this year, I needed to do it again, because here, you're right. If everyone implements that, you guys will get every single thing out of life that you want. You
So
will.
Sarah, you know, let's take that full circle. You know, we're talking about this now, and you've been talking about doing the training, and you keep wanting to do it. You keep wanting to do it. This is your message from the universe that it's time to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
This is what the team needs.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I put in the comments, you'll see, I put, watch what you say, your brain is listening. My husband's grandmother lived to be 94 years old, and we always talk about the Grammyisms. And she was the most positive person I ever met. She bowled until she was 89 years old. Like,
My
seriously.
grandma did too.
But this woman that's everything about her life was positive quotes, positive affirmations. She wouldn't hear anything bad about somebody. If you say, oh, he murdered her, she go, it was an accident. He didn't mean to stab her 97 times. You know, I mean, just everything about her was, she just found a positive, you know what I mean? We laugh now, my positive Peg, and I find, you know, the rainbow in the rain. That's who it comes from. It comes from her. This woman lived to be 94 and was constantly positive stuff. And it was all about, she would say, if your brain believes it, it'll happen. You know, and it really is true. If you put that thought, and I started, you know, me and Sarah talked about this. I started driving in my car going, you know, I'm going to recruit 2 people today. I'm going to recruit 2 people today. I'm going to talk to somebody in a red dress, you know, and like, you know, like silly stuff like that. And when you say those things out loud, you laugh at yourself in the car while the radio's going on. But then I'd get out of the car and I'd go on the train, and there's a person with a red dress, and I'm going, there I go. I got to go talk to the lady in the red dress, you know? And I mean, I've got customers that way by doing silly stuff like that.
I have literally, I mean, this is when I get really brave, but I've done that. And then that person appears and I have a pit in my stomach, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I put this out there. Now the person is here. Now I have to go talk to them. And I literally have had to tell them before, like, please do not think I'm crazy, but I kind of like brought you, like, this was a meant to be whatever. And I got to talk to you.
Lisa Nichols.
Oh, go
Lisa
ahead.
Nichols is also in The Secret, and she has some books that are amazing. She's from Chicago, and one of my favorite things, if you YouTube her story, she still cries telling it, but my favorite line was, she said, I was queen of the block, but I didn't want to be queen of that block. So she talks about her whole journey, about how she decided, as a single mom, she sold her row home. She moved in with a friend and rented a room. The friend smoked. She put like a rolled up towel at the bottom of the door so her baby wouldn't take in the smoke. Like, you know, she tells the whole thing. But what she would do is she would write a check and send it to the bank every week. There was a percentage of her pay that she would send to the bank every week. And on the memo, she would put, funding my dream. And 3 years later, her and her son went, and she said, I'm here. She said, every time these statements came in, she'd just rip them up and destroy them and get rid. She would never look at it. She just kept sending checks. She went in and like, you know, she just taught, her story is amazing, but she like went into the bank a few years later, and everybody there knew who she was, and they all wanted to know what was the dream. She now is a motivational speaker, but she's the first female-owned company that is all around motivational, like life coaching, and woman-owned. So it's just the opportunities are endless for us to say, like, once you start doing this. And the cool thing is like, one person like says in The Secret again, like, there's enough for everybody, because all of our dreams are different. Success looks different for everybody. There's nobody out there that wants exactly what you want. So create the vision board, create what you want. We're all doing Scentsy for a different reason. Some of us are holding on to it and maybe wanting to retire early. Some of us are trying to, you know, just be reckless and spoil our kids, you know, a little bit extra around the year, which is me. Like, you know, it's just right. But the beautiful thing is, I don't live in the mindset that I'm never going to have enough. I live in the mindset now that I'm always going to attract enough abundance that I'm never going to be in that spot again, and that I can be responsible, but also enjoy the money that I'm making and do nice things with my family. You know, like I live in a really happy place, and this is crazy to me.
I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Does anyone have any other questions? No? Okay, so we will, Kate for president,
Stop.
says Peg. Any questions on the incentive? I mean, it is it's simple, it's basic. If you have questions.
Everybody can do this. Everybody can do this incentive.
Mhm.
I don't care if you're just earning level 1, you're earning level 3, but everybody can do this. Even your dog, Melissa, your dog could do this.
And now I will tell you, those of you who have teams, some people, especially if they've been around for a while, are probably going to be like, this is the incentive. Like they may be expecting more. Just remind them that, first of all, this is money in 6 months from now that you're not going to have to spend on sales kits. You're not going to have to spend it on, if
still
it's a
have,
shopping spree, you're not going to have to spend it on, store stuff. You're not going to have to spend it on whatever you want. And you're going to get starting in the next incentive with points.
I actually still have my incentive from last year that I have yet to use. My $300 Apple. I have yet to use it.
I gifted mine to my 25-year-old and became a hero.
I used mine on my new iPad. But the ultimate gift that they didn't even put on that list is your business is going to grow, but you do not know whose life you are going to bless when you offer the opportunity and people come into Scentsy. They did not put that on the list, but that is the biggest thing. If you are in level 1 and level 1 alone because you brought one person into the business and that one person benefited in any way, shape, or form from this business, then that's success. And so to me, that's like, I mean, that's the ultimate reward. Yeah, they're going to throw some other things in, but you have to ask people because you just never know who can benefit from it. So anyways, with that,
I found it on Netflix.
We can say goodbye until next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, we are going to talk about, it's all going to tie in. This month will all tie into helping with earning the incentive. What is our topic for next month or next week?
It is customer follow-up.
Okay, so there we go. So customer
And I will
follow-up.
tie that into how, when you're doing your customer follow-up, I will tie that into recruiting your customers.
Perfect. Okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for getting on here tonight, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Good night, everybody.